Thank you for the coffee, Bart. Bart, a first question. What really strikes me about your role at Merapar is how many different hats you wear. It's quite impressive. I find it hard to pin down exactly what your job entails.
My primary role is a principal architect within Merapar. That means that within a team I'm leading the technical direction and vision that we have. That's my primary role. That's what I do during my daytime, so to say.
Yeah.
But I'm also one of the founders and a member of the leadership team. So that's a bit what I do in the background. And there we define the long-term vision of Merapar, like which direction do we want to go? Do we want to grow in a certain area? Do we want to extend to other countries? And as a side hobby within Merapar, I'm responsible for the IT infrastructure and security of our IT systems and data.
I've heard that you like to keep a tight grip on things, preferring to try and handle challenges on your own before seeking help.
It sounds like a control freak. No, but I think the key thing is I want to understand how things are working or how things are done. And if I don't understand it, I have a really hard time getting my head around it. So yeah, it's true, I like to figure out things on my own. Not because I don't trust other people, but just because I like to know how things are going. And I really like to learn. I think that's another aspect. I like to do new things and learn new skills. So yeah, maybe a bit under control, but it's what I like to do. That was my hobby, and that's now my work.
You once told me that the most important lesson you learned at Merapar is that when you're working as a team, you can have a much bigger impact than when you work alone. But then you added that a team can only be effective if all the individuals work effective together.
I think so. So maybe a bit of background. I started off as an independent contractor, so I was working on my own, and I really enjoyed doing that. I could travel a lot, I could work with great companies, had a lot of flexibility, a lot of freedom, but the impact you can have, in my opinion, was limited, because I could only do the work what I could do on my own, so it doesn't really scale well. You can do one job at a time, and you can only do it as one person. I think the great thing with working as a team is that you can have a much bigger impact. You can take much bigger jobs on, you can take on things that I might not know myself yet, but get other people that have that skill set involved. So your impact is way bigger. I think the challenge you have with working as a team is that you need to make sure that the whole team is still working efficiently together and achieve the same goal and try to go the same direction. Because if you get friction inside the team or debates or disagreements and they continue, you actually slow down. So then you probably work with 7 people on a thing, but the output is only for 3 people or 4 people. So that's why I think I like to work as a team because the impact is huge, but you really have to make sure that it's an effective way of working.
Take a look at those pictures, or that memories for you. What do you see?
These are really old pictures. This was the beginning of Merapar. We were renting a house. We called it a villa, but they were stretching it a bit. And that's where we started the company. And it was really hot in the summer, really cold in the winter because the heating and climate system was not there.
And how did you come to join Merapar? And what motivated you at the beginning?
I was working in Germany, and at that customer I saw that the cloud was getting bigger and more important. And Klaus, a colleague of mine who also started Merapar, had the same passion. And then we met also Erwin and like the whole founders team came together, and that's how we started Merapar. Based on this vision that we thought that cloud could play a big role, or a way bigger role in the media industry than it did until that moment. So that was our view, and we collectively believed that we could do that. So that's when we started Merapar.
Reflecting on that culture here at Merapar, how would you describe it?
I think what's one of the key principles, at least for me, and that's also driving, I think, our culture, is that most people work out of a passion for technology. They like technology and evolvement and learning new things. And I think that's building the culture, this drive to learn and to learn from each other, from new technologies, innovate, do new things. and that results in a culture where there's a drive to deliver great stuff, but also a drive to learn new things, learn from each other, try new things, fail, and that's accepted, because if you do new things, things go wrong every now and then. You learn from it and you pick it up. So I think that for me is a key thing of our culture, that it's that freedom is here to do that.
Are there any projects or achievements where you're particularly proud of?
When we came in, we are a relatively small company. We are not one of the big IT conglomerates, but with a relatively small team of really skilled people, that we can build something in record time. So, for example, we did projects where we built a POC that proved the whole concept in 3 weeks. So it was not a full end project, but the foundation was there. We could test, we could pitch it to them. Within 3 weeks, end to end, it was running. While until that moment, they had been working for months. I mean, those kind of release cycles or development cycles, they were unfamiliar with. And that makes me really proud that you can really impress the customer. And they think like, oh, wow, these guys know what they're talking about. That's what makes me proud.
Bart, considering your extensive role, how do you perceive the current trends in cloud technology?
I think cloud in general has become kind of a commodity, so it's not the new thing anymore. Everybody's using the cloud, but what you see right now is that a transition is happening towards really cloud native developments. So using more serverless technologies, integrating it with continuous integration, continuous deployment, DevOps. So really embracing all the powers that the cloud can give you.
How do you align our team and resources to stay ahead in such a rapidly evolving landscape?
That is a challenge. I think that's one of the bigger challenges of Merapar, on how to keep up to date with all the technologies and developments there. What we do is we have extensive training programs. We also do knowledge shares internally, where teams can learn from each other and experience are shared. We do internal projects, so when there's new technology that we really want to try out, we put it on the roadmap for an internal project, and if time allows, it's being picked up. We take the learnings and share the learnings again.
What skills do you think will be most crucial for Merapar to develop in the next few years?
The two skills. The first is to, I think the most important one, is to start to learn with AI and with AI assistants and with AI technology as your assistant, and really become a parent thing. I think if you miss that boat, then you get behind, because then others will figure it out. So it's really powerful, but we need to learn how to work with it. And then on implementing it in our solutions, you get way more from the development side into the data engineering, data science area, so data analytics. It's one side is more mathematical, maybe. Other hand, it's also way more applied and playing with it and do a training set, see how it goes, do it again. It's trial and error.
Looking back at your career, can you discuss a moment where you felt you had failed? And how did you handle that situation? And what did you learn from it?
I think the moments when I felt I failed is when I disappointed people or didn't deliver up to the things they expected from me. And for example, when a team expected other information or other input from me, or another way of working from me, that's when I feel like I failed. I think the way to address it is to talk with people and be really open and collect that feedback and be open for feedback and work on it. That works the best.
If you were to write a book about your life at Merapar, what would be the title and why?
Dream big. And why is we started off really with nothing. We started with a few individuals and then started to grow, but we always had this dot on the horizon, what we thought we could achieve, and we didn't know how to get there, but that was our goal and that's where we worked towards.
What advice would you give your younger self on his first day at Merapar?
Ask for feedback sooner, and ask feedback from everybody that you work with, because I think I was quite unsure about myself and feeling insecure about that. Well, that was, I think, not fully correct now, but if I would have asked that to people, then I would have learned that sooner and had given me a bit of an easier life.
If you would change one thing within Merapar, what would it be?
I think that's not something specifically for Merapar, but something for the whole industry, equality or diversity of people. So in our whole industry, but also at university, men's are in a majority. Last time I worked really like in a 50-50 equal setting was probably at high school, before there went the selection to technology or not. So I think having more diversity in the technology sector would be great. I'm Bart van Raalte, Technology Principal and Chief Information Officer at Merapar.